Good morning, all. We set aside this time for brief announcements that will be of interest to our community and friends. Please be succinct when announcing upcoming events or updates. And if you have an announcement, please raise your hand, and when Julia or I call on you, come up to the podium, unmute yourself, and then speak, or unmute yourself and speak. Ted, please come forward.
Okay. Take your spot there. You may have it.
Yeah, thanks. Good morning, everybody. Rebecca has an announcement for you. Unfortunately, she took a really bad crash in the bathroom last night, so she is not here today to deliver it in person, so it's up to me. So Rebecca is delighted to let you know this morning that the Salina Tribal Council is happy to receive the fourth Sunday donation from our church. They will be using it towards the creation of a garden in Morro Bay at the Maritime Museum on the Embarcadero. You can take pride in supporting this community project.
Well, I have and Andy. Oh, please go forward, Andy.
Hi there. Men's group meets tomorrow, the first Monday of April, 10 a.m. here at the sanctuary, and by Zoom if you are remote. I'll send out a reminder email with the Zoom address. 10 o'clock tomorrow.
These are sent out overline. Pardon? These are sent out over.
I have an
next one is
announcement.
the one that's.
We're looking for two volunteers to be delegates to the General Assembly.
Zoom gets it, but we don't
second
include it in the
week in June.
recording. And that's Joyce and
And
yeah, it's not in the
board
recording,
has
but
budgeted
Joyce and
sufficient money
Concerns,
to pay
Zoom
for
hears that.
two delegates. And if we can do this before April, we save a little money as well. So I would encourage people to consider that. And I'd ask Kelly to come forward. He was our delegate last year, and to give us a little, to flesh out a little bit and to encourage you all to step forward. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you. Wow. He's back. How many people here have attended a GA? Whoops. Well, at all, because this year is not in person either. Okay. So I did last year. That was from right in here, virtual the whole time. So we are looking for, as Don said, two delegates. It is, the dates exactly are Sunday, June 14 to Tuesday, June 16 is a 3-day session, which is the business, which involves voting on behalf of the congregation on various issues which are adopted by the denomination for study and action nationwide. And then the next Friday through Sunday, June 19 to 21, is the more exciting maybe part of the whole General Assembly, the gathering of UU delegates virtually from all over the country, and you get to see what we look like, what we sound like, how we conduct business, and there's a lot of 50 or more workshops. There's singing, there's worship, and there's the WARE lecture on Saturday night. I didn't mention last week that Heather Vickery, I'm sorry, that, let me get her name, Bishop Marion Budd is the one delivering the WARE lecture. She happens to be the bishop of the Washington, D.C., which includes the National Cathedral, which happens to be where my parents got married, in a little chapel in the basement, wartime weekend marriage. So that speaks to me a lot. So it's amazing how many different things are brought together by this gathering. So please contact Don or me or anyone that you want to find out more about it. And if we can sign up by April 30, we save a fair amount of money.
One last plea for donations for the scholarship fund. We're very close to having 11 full scholarships, and there's one person that we would love to be able to give another one to, and that's another $1,000. So I urge you to think about donating, because he is so deserving. All of them are deserving, but he just didn't make the cut. And thank you all for your donations in the past as well. This is a great cause, and only a third of the kids are getting scholarships from us. Thank you.
Yeah, we also have a women's group gathering that will be Monday, tomorrow at 1:30. Rebecca was supposed to be leading that, but that will be fine. We'll just readjust if she's unable to be there. We wish her the best, though. Hope she's okay.
Francesca?
Every 6 weeks, we do at Rockford Yoga, which is the building right next to the library, we do a sound-centered chakra meditation, and it's about 2 hours long, with an hour of it being the meditation. We do a gathering in the beginning and share community, and then we do the meditation with Tibetan bowls and crystal bowls, and a meditation on each of the chakras. And then afterwards we socialize a little bit till everybody kind of gets grounded and ready to go home. And that's every 6 weeks on the equinoxes, solstices, and the cross-quarter days that come exactly in between. So that's 8 in a year. And if anybody wants to know our schedule, I posted it on the back on the bulletin board, and then I also have copies that you can take home if you want to put it on your calendar or whatever. Anyway, it's been building a really nice community, and it's a great way to get strong from the inside out when chaos is all around. Anyway, we'd love to have you there. Thanks a lot.
Just that there's going to be another potluck here in 2 weeks on Saturday night. Kelly and Robert and I are hosting, so I don't know the date. But 2 weeks from yesterday.
18th.
The 18th. There.
Next week, the worship committee will present a peek under the hood of our UUCC services. The committee will uncover the mysteries beyond the making of these services. Contrary to popular belief, these are not canned services provided by the UUA. Next Sunday will be a one-of-a-kind service, so don't miss it. Now let us take a moment to still our hearts, quiet our minds, and center ourselves. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to this community, and to each other. Andy Fagan will light the chalice here in the sanctuary. Those of you at home are invited to light your own chalice now. We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope as a sign of our quest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share together. In recognition of Passover and Easter, for lo, it is the springtime of the year. Once again the word comes true, and all earth shall be made anew. Now the dark, cold days are o'er, spring and gladness are before. Please stand in body or spirit and sing the opening hymn, Lo, the Earth Awakes Again, number 61. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist community of Cambria. We are glad you have joined us today. Our UUC sanctuary sits on land that the Salinan and Chumash indigenous peoples historically inhabited. We honor their contribution to this region and give thanks for the opportunity to gather in faith on their unceded territory. Let us respect their legacy and protect their history as we occupy this sacred space. As Unitarian Universalists, we celebrate religious diversity and welcome all who journey in search of faith and spirituality. The UUCC is a lay-led congregation run by the democratic process. We invite speakers from different religious traditions and spiritual or scientific backgrounds, as well as community leaders, to speak at our pulpit. We encourage presentations covering a variety of topics and areas of interest that connect with the UU 7 principles and 6 values: equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, justice, and interdependence, with love at the center. Today's service centers around the 4th principle. We affirm and promote a responsible search for truth and meaning. And the 7th principle, we affirm and promote respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. My name is Don Howell, and I am your worship associate for this morning's service. We extend a special welcome to today's guests and visitors. We're glad you joined us this morning. If you wish, please introduce yourself or your guest. Yes, Wayne. Welcome, Carol Jean. If you are not on the mailing list, please visit the UUCC website at uuccambria.org so that we can keep you informed about all of our activities. Members and friends, please check out what's happening through UUCC newsletter sent to you every week. This is a great way to keep up to date with our latest news. To see this or any of the past Zoom services, the recordings can be found on the UUCC website. So again, good morning and welcome to everyone. The affirmation is both a recognition of the nature of this community as well as a promise to which we aspire. Let us now sing the affirmation.
And service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, and to help, and to help, and to help one another.
We take this time to celebrate all those who are having a birthday this month. Birthdays are special, a day when we celebrate your entry into this world and honor your existence. If you have a birthday this month, please raise your hand. When Julie or I call on you, please reveal your special date. Dolores.
26.
That's 26. Yes.
Also the 26th.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Yes. The 11th. Wow, goodness, this is a very productive month. Yes. Excellent. This birthday candle honors all of our friends and family members who are also celebrating birthdays this month. Now is the time for sharing our heartfelt joys and concerns with this, your spiritual community. Please feel free to come forward and briefly express a personal celebration, sorrow, reflection, or gratitude. The collective flames of these candles embody all the joys and concerns which may have gone unspoken today, but which are also deeply felt in this community. The first reading is a statement made by the Bridge Department. In the 1920s, the Bridge Department at what would become Caltrans was widely respected. As planning began for the 6 history-making bridges called the Big Sur Arches, the department's leader wrote, "It is perhaps safe to say that the strongest appeal modern highway bridge engineering has for laymen comes from the bold, spectacular structures which the scenic highway routes have made possible, and of which routes California has her due share. The more rugged and mountainous the country is, the more often such an opportunity is presented and economically justified for constructing an attractive bridge." Let us join in a time of meditation, of prayer, and of silence. Let us seek the quiet and the calm, laying aside our struggles. And in the silence, may there be a reverence in our hearts, a thankfulness within our spirit, and a deepened understanding of the meaning of our lives. Let us enter the stillness. May we find the compassion and empathy we need to strengthen relationships. May we find ways to love each other well. May we not judge or condemn, but rather build a beloved community. The second reading is an excerpt from The Shovel That Committed Suicide, a newspaper's tongue-in-cheek account of a diesel shovel's demise while in use on the highway. In memoriam, on March 5th, 1921, in the dead of night at milepost 56, the Bucyrus 3B full diesel shovel belonging to George Pollock Company contractors, tired of its endless labors, plunged headlong 500 feet over a precipice to a watery grave in the turbulent waters of the Pacific Ocean. No services were held, as the shovel's plans were well executed, and she now rests in the bosom of the Pacific, free from all earthly troubles. No effort is to be made to recover the body. A post-mortem investigation showed that about 4 feet of bank gave way, allowing the shovel to slide off backward slowly. The operator escaped. The shovel hit only 3 times in the descent, and the last plunge was over a cliff about 150 feet high, landing the shovel 75 feet into the ocean. The remains may be seen at low tide. The anthem today is In Its Own Time by Steve Nathanson and will be sung by Steve Nathanson.
I just wanted to add that this song was inspired by a trip to Limekiln State Park. And so I'm very happy to be able to share this with you today. Ocean drowns the land in its own time. Rocks take back the tide in their own time. Sand comes back, reclaims the ocean. Seagulls and oyster catchers move with emotion. Trees hold back the raging ocean in their own time. Ever forward path pushes through in our own time. Fire can take a town away in no time. Climate change or greedy man's play, the outcome is cloaked in shades of gray. The world needs to fix it or die in our now time. Push and pull, it's unending. The restless tide of life is always trending. It does man no good to go on pretending that wash, rinse, repeat is okay. Rain takes down the mighty hill in its own time. Rivers used to run at will in the old times. Eucalyptus trees shed their skin. The sun comes along, makes a fiery din. If we don't fix it, we can't win in our now time. In our now time.
Thank you, Steve. Today's talk is titled Tidbits from the Big Sur Coastal Highway Story, to be delivered by Wayne Attoe. 37 years ago, while living in Louisiana, Wayne's late husband Peter and he bought 160 acres of raw land north of and a third of a mile higher than Cambria. They relocated 4 years later and spent 2 decades homesteading up there on Red Mountain. Green space and singing became Wayne's links to the world beyond. They moved to town in 2009. 10 years ago, Wayne developed an illustrated history of Cambria called Cambria. The same publisher asked if he would develop one about the Big Sur Coastal Highway, and he is close to finishing that. Wayne.
What a privilege to be here. I can't do justice to the history of this famous road in 20 minutes, but I have some anecdotes. For there's more to the story than the never-ending road closures, tourists gawking while driving and parking illegally, and the cost of keeping the road open. What do I mean by Big Sur Coastal Highway? I mean, it's between San Simeon and Carmel. Other folks have other definitions. To the left, this is the northern section of the highway before road improvements began. The southern half was little more than tracks suited for horseback and for carts drawn by pack animals. 3 hot springs in the area have been used for centuries. Indigenous people frequented them as such as the one above the coast here, but this is the later development. During the 1870s, a man with serious arthritis found that the hot springs here overlooking the coast relieved his condition. He acquired the property and drew other sufferers to what became called Slate's Hot Springs. And that's what that is. Next, please. Tubs like the one on the left seem to be the principal accoutrements of Slate's hot springs. "80 years later, the Esalen Institute, which acquired the property, incorporated it as a nonprofit that continues to accommodate guests interested in the human potential movement." So they're not at the hot springs, but nearby. The most famous of the 6 Big Sur arches is Bixby Bridge, from the heroic period of highway design in the 19-teens and 1920s. Surprisingly, perhaps, to build a concrete arch span there, like the one on the left, they first needed to build a 26-story high redwood structure on the right. It was the scaffolding or falsework on which the reinforced concrete bridge was formed. The scaffolding took 2 months to erect and had to withstand high winds and powerful waves, and was recycled afterwards. This is one of my favorite stories. A different kind of bridge from Bixby was this on the left, called at Wildcat Creek, which is the shortest of them, and it served an urban, not rural, stretch of the highway in Carmel Highlands. The use of the pointed arch in that one was unique to the Department of Highway Designers. And the solid walls that you see there, that was unique to this bridge. The other bridges did not have that, and you could see through to the columns that were holding the bridge up. That area is called spandrels. Reportedly, an artist living near this site of the new span had recommended that its designers investigate a bridge in Florence, Italy, and offered them an illustration of it, the Ponte alla Badia, and that's on the right. It has a pointed arch, and its walls are filled in. I think that's remarkable. These high-powered engineers, yeah, we'll use a photograph of an old bridge. Let's see. Okay, next, please. It was 25 years after the California legislature approved funding for construction of the highway that construction began. One crew of about 120 men began working northward from a camp possibly near Point Piedras Blancas. And later, the camp definitely was at Salmon Creek. A similar crew worked south from a camp at Anderson Creek, which is shown here. The left is the earlier version of it, and the little, like a caterpillar down there on the left, that is the group of cabins, 8 men to a cabin. They shared sanitary facilities. They took meals together in another building. And wagons pulled by pack animals brought provisions to these remote 120-man job sites. In winter, this one on the right is a later version, which is more built up. In winter, when the rudimentary roads became impassable, the project's contractors scheduled deliveries by boat to a nearby anchorage. You may wonder where the nearby anchorage was. The nearest ports were in Monterey and San Simeon. Another day, I'll tell you about these ports. They're called dog hole ports. Men on the left there, men on the rocky slope are from a group of prisoners who were used on these job sites they were convicts from the San Quentin prison, and they could avoid the crowded conditions there and reduce their jail terms and earn a little money by volunteering to be out in the middle of nowhere. This group, they're called slopers. They are climbing a slope to remove loose rocks from the excavated slope. To operate machinery and supervise the convicts, men with construction experience were engaged, and this shows some of the equipment that was used at the time. While I was seeking photographs in Monterey, I happened upon a handwritten page by a woman named Glenna recounting her experience of spending a family summer at one of these road building camps where her father was employed. She's to the right. There's a dog, there's a dog there, and she's to the right, and to the left is her sister. The family lived in what she called a circus tent, which meant that it had a pole in the middle holding it up. At the end of the workday, the men, quote, flocked to the ocean and harvested abalone, which was a staple. Her mother tenderized it by pounding it on boulders and cooked it in a cast iron skillet over their open fire. They scavenged for berries and found a substitute for chewing gum. That was the black tar from the roadwork, whose bitter taste took time to tolerate. Glenna's father, on the right there, his name was Wilbert Smith, gained renown while operating a crane to lift a boulder above a ravine. When the balance shifted, the crane tipped, and as it tumbled, Wilbert jumped clear. Later, he and his wife, Isla, posed in front of this, the wrecked crane. It's likely one of these in this lineup on the right. Sadly, several other similar incidents were fatal. The reinforced concrete bridges called the Big Sur arches may be world famous, but they are not invincible. 80 years of salty wind and waves seriously corroded the reinforcing steel and the concrete. This was both a safety hazard and a visual concern. Replacing the decaying bridges with replicas was out of the question. Fortunately, technology does evolve, and during the decades of decay, ways to stop and even repair this kind of damage were developed. Electrochemical chloride extraction applies DC current to the reinforcing steel in the concrete. The way the materials respond chemically to this experience turns the clock back on corrosion. And no, I cannot explain that. And this is, I'm going to be closing with this, which is, I call it repairing the Big Creek Bridge in the age of woke. Just as technology changed in 80 years, so did cultural norms. The bridge repair procedures would need scaffolding for access from below. But since its construction, a native burial ground was identified there. So penetrating the earth there needed to be minimal, if at all. So the solution was to hang the scaffolding from the bridge, which cost more. Then, to protect the equipment and the the equipment and the workers from intemperate coastal weather, the project would need to be shrink-wrapped, which the shrink wrapping is beginning to be done there on the left. A subsequent windstorm ripped away the wrapping, and debris from flash flooding below the bridge damaged the scaffolding, which then needed inspection and repairs. Other impediments in the construction of the repair of this bridge included protocols for COVID were announced. There's a crew of 120 workers and so on. Endangered species of butterflies, bats, and rare mushrooms were designated for special attention. A hummingbird nest and eggs were found on top of the scaffolding. During pupping season at the nearby seal colony, generators had to be fitted with soundproof enclosures. A record-setting thunderstorm triggered fires in the vicinity, and a separate fire near Monterey brought thick smoke, followed by highly toxic air quality requiring work crews to use respirators. Daily, California Highway Patrol vehicles escorted the crew to and from their off-site living quarters when a washout made that route impassable. So their 4-mile ride became a 2-hour detour. I'm intrigued by these little stories, anecdotes, tidbits about this extraordinary place and project. And there are more, but not for today. What about evacuees? Or in the center there, railings with views no longer legal. And what about steep mountain slopes? Thank you. I've enjoyed sharing this with you.
The morning offering will now be given and received. Please remember, we are a self-sustaining congregation and provide all financial resources for our many ministries. We recognize the spiritual value of generosity and invite you to participate. If you are viewing the service remotely, please use one of the methods shown on the screen. Thank you. Our thanks for all gifts given and received for the work of this community. Now, please stand in body or spirit and sing the closing hymn, I Brought My Spirit to the Sea.
E flat? I don't think you are. We're going to start the intro again. Okay. I brought my spirit to the sea. I stood upon the shore. I gazed upon infinity. I heard the waters roar. And then there came a sense of peace. Then whispered calm my soul. Some ancient ministry of stars had made my spirit whole. I brought my spirit to the trees that leaned against the sky. I touched each wandering, careless breeze to know if God was nigh. And then I felt an inner flame that fiercely burned my tears. Upright I rose from bended knee to meet the asking years.
As we prepare to extinguish the chalice, let us recite the valediction. We extinguish this flame, but we keep its light on hearts with its message of love and justice, taking it outside these walls to the world we live in. Please extinguish your chalice at home now. It's not going to work. Now, let us form a circle and join hands.
Well done, yes. I want to thank you, my congregation, for enriching my life. Thank you.